right there. This...
Why is he touching it like that? Average cap stream. How long can she go without saying she likes cock? I think I went 3 hours without saying that I like cock. That's pretty good, right? Bigger question, does Cap like Futa? Hey, whatever works for me. If it's hot, it's hot. You know what I mean? I love Futa. Oh, there we go. To me, dude. This is so good. Oh, that's so good. There you go. There you go. That's free. I like the Futa cheese. Isn't Futa gay? Nah. Nah, Futa's not gay. If Futa is gay, then watching any porn is also gay, right? Because you're also watching the pee-pee. You're watching the pee-pee do the thing, right? So is that gay? Is watching porn inherently gay? If like it's not, right? So Futa also isn't gay, right? It's gay. Okay, is watching porn in general just gay? You're watching penises do things. Is that gay? Futa is arguably straighter. I have a great react for this topic.
Hello students, my name is Professor Lando and welcome to the esteemed Ligma University. And in today's lesson, we're taking a look at a very important topic, and that is one on Futanari. Yes, Futanari. What is it? And also, why exactly why do we like it so much? That's what we're striving to answer today. So please,
20 minutes on Futa? Fuck me.
Let's begin class.
20 minutes on Futa.
Like I said, students, today we are going over Futanari. It is a genre of explicit Japanese material, aka hentai, where a character or characters has both female and male explicit parts, body parts. Now, what do I mean exactly by this?
Why are you studying me? Glaive, are you a Futa? Brother, Glaive, are you a Futa now? Okay, Glaive, is Futa gay? Can you like explain? Is Futa gay? I need to know. Yes, and come on, dude. Don't be a cheeky little fence sitter.
I'll give you an example here. Let's take a female character.
I am Singaporean.
Chun-Li, and we compare it to a male character. For example, someone like Naruto. Now, when it comes to Futanari, in its most basic description, it describes a character that is intersex, having both parts. Now, you could take this as a traditionally female character like Chun-Li having a phallus, or a male character having breasts, for example. But when it comes to Futanari in practice, out there on the field, we find that more often than not, the majority of the media is going to be female characters with the addition of male.
I feel like most men would prefer women if they had dicks in general. Judging by this, I feel like a lot of you just would also like a chick with a dick. You're so wrong. Fuck no. Massively wrong. False, incorrect buzzer noise. I don't like dicks, but you like Futa. But you like Futa. You like Futa cock. You like Futa cock. So why don't you like a woman with a dick? You know, if you had, do you know what I mean? Where's the? It's two girls engaging with each other. Futa is different. It's just wrong on every basic of science. You are wrong. But there's still a pussy involved somewhere around the dick. So if a Futa is having sex with the male female, is he having a threesome? This convo is cursed. I'm so good. This is so...
male parts, conceptually speaking, and not
so cooked.
Male
this is
characters
so cooked. This is such a cooked conversation.
with female parts. Now, don't get confused. There could be some crossover here with Rule 63, male characters and or female characters being changed into the opposite gender in fan-made media, fan art,
not
and
Futanari.
whatnot. But we are talking about Futanari.
What have you done?
Before we get
As
deeper
you're
into
actually
the
going so deep into the speculation, hey, if you want to come to a conclusion with a reasonable take that's informed and backed up, we have to back up our points, right? This is me doing research right now.
You know what
This is me doing research into fucking Futanari. What am I doing? What am I doing with my life? What am I doing with my life? Why am I here live to a bunch of people talking about Futacock? Why am I here? Why am I doing this?
Futanari is a genre in Japanese explicit fictional works. So when we talk about Futanari, it is in the context of fiction.
Yep.
And although there might be some loose associations with this word to some...
Do you have any college degree? Do you want to know? I did biochemistry at university. I dropped out while I was doing my dissertation. I left university to do my own job. Listen, I promise you, I'm educated.
Real life, cultural things many, many years ago. Today, in modern times, and in the context that I'm teaching you about, Futanari is not to be used to describe real life people. Trans people specifically. Now, there might be some trans people that associate positively with this word. Who am I?
Okay. Any trans people in chat, can anyone confirm? Are there any trans people that consider themselves a Futanari? That would be crazy. That would be a crazy way to introduce yourself. She dropped out of failure to create the Futa potion. True. Hi, Rainy. Rainy, do you consider yourself a Futa?
Who am I to say? Who am I to really know? But generally speaking, I think we would all agree that Futanari, to describe real life people, would be pretty distasteful. All right, you hear that? It's lunchtime, students. So before we get onto the rest of this lecture, let's get some brain food in us. Oh, I don't know about you students, but I am starving.
You should ask all of new chatters.
A very nutritious diet plan.
Yes, every stream is like this. That's not true. Not every stream is like this. Only the most based ones, okay? I could be playing gacha games right now. I could be playing Wuthering Waves. No, here I am talking about fucking Futanari.
And for its faculty and its students. Now, before we eat, I think this is a good opportunity to learn something
eat 3 different types of sugar.
Futanari for you visual learners out there. Now, when it comes to Futanari, there are 3 main types of physical appearances of a Futanari character. We're going to use these food items as stand-ins for the explicit body parts you might find on a Futanari character.
Oh, okay, I see.
First off,
now.
We have a banana, or a phallus, a schlong,
a penis.
The girth, member, length. And to go along with this,
he inserted his length into her. Okay, let's stop.
Banana, we have 2 tangerines, and they go at the base of the banana like so. And this represents the male.
The way he fondles the balls is crazy.
Package, as you can guess. And in a Futanari character, this replaces the normal female accoutrement that you would usually find. And they come in.
And usually it'll be fucking massive. Right? I think we're missing that point that usually the Futacock is like huge. Why did they make the Futacock so fucking huge?
Different shapes and sizes like they do in real life. They come just like this.
Get your hands off those mandarins.
Above average length, that's for sure. And maybe sometimes they come with a little bit of that skin missing at the top.
Oh God, it's been he just circumcised it!
I think he
just circumcised it!
That's going to be the first version of a Futanari character that we might run into. And so what we have next is this donut. That's going to represent the female body part usually found in explicit material. Right there. This.
Why is he touching it like that? Why is he touching it like that? Why is he touching it like that? If he sucks the tip, I'm leaving. Why is he touching it like that? Get away from my donut hole! Oh, God. Ooh.
Delicious donut. right there. And so in the second Futanari character, in the physical appearance of it, instead of the standard male package, you remove the tangerines, no tangerines, and in place of it, donut, the female entrance where it normally would be, but with a banana protruding.
Wait, so you'd have a pussy and a cock? So you'd have both at the same time? Okay, chat, all the food to enjoy is, which do you prefer? Cock and balls on your food or cock and hole? Cock and balls or cock and hole? What do you prefer? That's the beauty of it. Cock and hole? Both are good. Cock and hole. Banana and donut. Yep, that's all the food to have both. Full package. And that way everyone love it. Third option, all three. Okay. Okay, who likes all three? I don't care, just the ass. Foetus have mega clitoris. Basically, it's like a mega clit at that point, right?
From the top. Arguably, this is a more niche version compared to the standard male package being on a Futanari, but otherwise popular within its
Futa means having both. I thought the Futa came from like a female body having a male appendage. That's what Futa came from.
own community. And for the third version of Futanari character, we're going to combine our entire meal and have a balanced, nutritious diet. We're going to have the standard male package, like so, resting upon our donut.
How does that work?
This might seem a little gluttonous to you.
How does that work?
To some people, this is their preference. And we can't argue that this is definitely a pillar of the Futanari genre. But I think whether or not you prefer your tangerines with your banana, no tangerines with your banana, I think we can all agree.
They hide it under the bowl. Okay.
Futanari, it's all delicious.
Can they self-impregnate too?
What is Futanari? But not why Futanari. And what do we mean by why Futanari?
Hey Thoma, are you a Futa fan?
All right, well, why is it so popular? Let me give you some metrics here for reference. We're going to be pulling from two main sources, two main websites where Japanese explicit media.
Yes. Okay, Athoma's also a Futa fan. Okay. Is there, all of you like Futa is what I'm getting at.
Other types of explicit media are hosted. That would be these two websites right here. Now, for liability's sake, I'm not going to tell you exactly which websites these are, but I will say that these are the two most popular websites for hosting Japanese.
It's the straightest thing you can like, is it? You like beans on cock.
Explicit media, as well as other types of explicit media. This one being for images, and this one being for doujins, or the comic manga version. And on the first website, there are 603,639 individual results for the word Futanari. And for the doujin site, there are 35,416 individual.
I think we all know the second one. Come on, we're not stupid. We're not stupid. We all know what the second one is.
Posted with the tag Futanari. Now, I don't know about you, but I think
that's a lot of
Futanari. Now, the question is why? Why do we like Futanari so much? Well, the key thing here is projection. That's the term that I use to describe the phenomena at play here when it comes to Futanari. Much like how Charles Xavier, famed telepath.
He dropped the codes. Oh no, don't search them up. Don't search them up.
Leader of the X-Men might project his conscious mind from one X-Men to another person.
Do not search them up.
Tracer with a big fat. That's the type of projection I'm talking about here. Now let me go more into depth. The key appeal of the Futanari genre is understanding. Understanding what it feels like to have your chicken choked. So I think the tabooness and the appeal of Futanari comes from having that sensation that men are so intimately familiar with and projecting it onto a female character or female form and having that character know what it's like to have that pleasure.
This video is so cooked. We're not even halfway in.
That's the tabooness. That is where the main appeal of Futanari comes into play.
I'm learning so much.
The appeal of Futanari can be summed up in this way. Hey, I know what it feels like, and I like that she knows what it feels like. But she's not supposed to.
That's crazy. Thank you for the sub. Thank you for the sub. Bro, this man cooks more than Gordon Ramsay.
And that makes it hot. That's the projection I'm talking about. It's witnessing these female characters experience the same pleasure that I feel, with a little bit of tabooness.
Oh
Students,
my God.
I'll ask you this. Why do we all like MILF so much? Well, we all have a mother or can relate to some sort.
Wait, is he saying some of you want to fuck your mothers? Or you want to fuck someone else's mother? That's insane. Okay.
Sort of motherly experience, positive or negative? And why do we all like furry so much? Well, I think it's because we all.
No, why? Because people want to fuck their dogs? Is that what he's about to say?
All have a innate primal nature, harkening back to our pharaoh ancestors that we all want to tap into.
Okay, I thought he was actually gonna say people want to fuck their dogs. That was okay, crazy.
Primal. And that's why we like Futanari so much. It's because it's relatable. It's universal. And so intellectual detractors might say, hey, Professor Lando, if it's about relatability, then why wouldn't you just watch men? Isn't that the ultimate relatability? That's because we're missing out on the taboo element.
Okay, but if you're a straight person, watching men have sex would be the ultimate taboo, right?
Men beating it? Well, I beat it. I've been beating it my whole life. Also, why would I watch men? What am I, gay?
Yeah, Rikishi, give this up to Futa Enjoyer. That's so good. A hard
to answer
question.
this question, I want to take a look at one of my favorite scenarios. So what we have here is a visual representation for Plato's allegory of a cave. In regards to hardcore Futanari, I ask you this question, students. Are you the prisoner or are you the onlooker? What exactly are you lusting for? Are you lusting for the concept, the idea, the projection and relatability of the phallus on the female character? If so, then I purport that it is not gay. However, if that is not the reason you like Futanari, then there could be a whole nother discussion to be had, and maybe, just maybe, it might be gay. Okay, now we're going to talk about something called...
Wait, so always some of y'all are gay?
The Futanari pipeline of self-discovery. So how does this diagram start? Well, it starts with the most basic exposure. Hentai. Perhaps the first stage because of how accessible it is, especially with how provocative the visuals can be. Mostly
Yep, it's very easy to watch a lot of different hentais.
This could be discovering a certain Teen Titans animation on Newgrounds, or perhaps...
Bro, Newgrounds, I haven't heard about that in years. There is some of the most degenerate shit on Newgrounds, bro. Newgrounds has some of the most degenerate stuff possible. Oh my god.
Clip of some sort of animated, explicit Japanese fictional work. But eventually you go on to the next stage, which is doujins, a slew of content that you never knew existed before. The volumes are comparable to a Library of Alexandria, the sort of Library of Alexandria of the modern age. When it comes to the animated works, this is the clickbait of the not safe for work pipeline. Because although there are some fantastic animated works, generally speaking, these are not the best. In hindsight, of course, when you're first discovering, this is very sensational, but doujins, that's where the meat is at. The care each panel has, the amount of work that can be explored is why doujins is the next stage. Where do we go from there? Well, now we discover SFM or 3D animations.
Oh my god.
Never underestimate the human potential for evolution.
Bro, the 3D enjoys are crazy.
Students, SFM, or Source Filmmaker, which is a 3D software developed by Valve, or other 3D programs such as Blender 3D, most popular.
Bro, he's cooking so much.
Allowed people to create a whole new world.
You're getting exposed, Athoma. You're getting exposed in real time.
3D animation, taking the 2D planes, which have been available in doujins and in the animated 2D works, and bring them into a whole new dimension. Source Filmmaker and Blender. Part of this is being able to take
Blender for making the best
models,
Minecraft
assets, and the
I could have made this vid, bro.
The sheer output going down this pipeline. What is inevitable as a next step? If you are consuming SFM or 3D media, you are bound.
I'll be real. I'm not a huge fan of the 3D. I think maybe I'm one of the few. I'm not a huge fan of it. Okay, Zanny, but Minecraft version. Okay, it was safe. Okay, but why does she look really good? That's kind of crazy.
Because Futanari, although apparent in both doujin works and in animated works, for some reason seems to be particularly present within 3D works. Now, not saying that you can't skip a step here. Perhaps you might find your way more prevalently in doujins than animated, but still possible. Perhaps there are some works I'm not too familiar. Maybe you can send me some just so cross-reference. So what are we talking about here? Well, when you go down this pipeline up to this point here, you might be somewhat normal, as normal as you can be after discovering what these are. But upon discovering Futanari, I think, as a newly initiated person, you might be thinking, oh, I don't hate it. Maybe. Kind of like it. So whether you follow the standard flow or perhaps find yourself off the beaten
place
path
of
a little bit,
acceptance.
you get to this point and you have to admit something to yourself. Hey, kind of like that. And where do we go from here? On an entirely separate pipeline, maybe you could see something like this.
Fanboys!
Whoa, wait a minute. Now, instead of liking female characters, those are just dudes. But hey, I think students, what you're saying is, but Professor Lando, no, they're feminine. They're breedable and submissive and or. Well, once you're at this stage, there is a way you might find yourself even deeper. F it, I just like men. Now, obviously, what I'm trying to...
Fuck it, I just like men. I glaive, Keo. I glaive. The gay pipeline. This is literally, it's not the Futanari pipeline, it's the gay pipeline of self-discovery.
To say here is not that Futanari is going to turn someone bi or gay. You can't turn someone into something they're not. You can't change them. You can't turn them into being gay or bi. But maybe this might reveal what's inside. Okay, now we're going to talk about the different types of subgenres within Futanari that you might run into. Okay, so the first subgenre that you're probably going to run into the most is going to be Futa on...
I feel like after today, I'm going to do a lot of Futa research. Just for like actual curiosity. I've never watched Futa stuff. I've seen like images because they appear on the internet, but I've never gone out of my way to look it up. So maybe after today, I will look up Futa for research. I can help you, bro. I got you. Bet. Like, I'm actually curious, you know? Like, what is it that people apparently I'm missing out on?
Email. And an example of this would be...
I got the best bikini.
Tsunade and Shizune from Naruto. Tsunade here being the Futanari character and Shizune being the standard female character. Now the reason I've chosen these two characters to demonstrate this scenario is because within the canonical material, the series Naruto, Tsunade and Shizune are a pair. They're friends. Shizune serving as an aide to Tsunade, who is the Hokage for a time, and introducing the Futanari aspect within this pairing specifically, and other types of female and female pairings that you might usually see in the source material, it is able to take their relationship and introduce this sort of new flavor to it. Now there already is fan-made content of explicit nature, right? Being images or dojins of these two characters and other female characters partaking in coitus, lovemaking. And that already is a sort of rush and tabooness in itself. But introducing that next level, whether it be Futanari or something else, you're taking it to that boundary. All in all, when it comes to Futanari, this model is pretty standard stuff. Okay, so the next subgenre that we're going to take a look at is Futa on Futa. Okay, so the example I'm choosing here is Cammy and Juri from
Futa and
Street Fighter.
Futa.
So obviously in this subgenre, Futanari on Futanari, you take two characters that are usually portrayed as female in the source material, and they are both Futanari characters. What I think really sets this subgenre apart from the others is the combative nature of it, as opposed to the first one, Futa and female, where there is a very clear give and take in the relationship. I enjoy the sort of clashing that might appear in Futanari and Futanari. That's why I've chosen these characters from a fighting game, Street Fighter, of course, Cammy and Juri. It's sort of a battle, and that's where the fun is. Okay, and the last subgenre that I'm going to cover is Futa on male, or Futanari on male.
Which
my
one do you
example
guys
for this
prefer?
would be 2B from Nier Automata, and me, Professor Lando. The traditional role that men often find themselves forced into by societal norms is one where men are predominantly the acting force, specifically in relationships. But sometimes we need these roles reversed. And what do I mean by that? Well, sometimes men might like the door held open for them. Or maybe sometimes they would like to be the ones to get a compliment. Or maybe sometimes they would like the other person to pay for the check at dinner time. And sometimes they want Futanari 2B to plow them like the fertile lands of Mesopotamia.
So is that gay? Is that gay? If he wants to be plowed by Futanari 2B, is that gay? Omega gay? Yes and no. Sometimes. It's just Greek.
So it is in this way that Futanari on male might be the most complicated, but perhaps the most rewarding of the subgenres of Futanari. And I've been speaking mostly on Futanari on male, but of course this implies that the male could top the Futanari character. But that is for the weak of soul and mind and body. Only the weakest, whose bloodlines are inevitably bound to wither away and die, would prefer to top a Futanari 2B when the option to get topped by a Futanari 2B exists. Now, a lecture on the subject of Futanari would not be complete if we did not talk about
bro's gay.
Overwatch. This first-person
Why is
shooter game
Overwatch being
developed by
brought into
Blizzard
this?
Entertainment, released on 2016, took the world by storm. It's hard to really adequately describe how popular Overwatch was, from the fan-made content, cosplays, art, to the competitive scene, the casual gaming scene, all the videos on YouTube and clips online. Overwatch was simply a phenomenon. Okay, well students, you might be wondering, why are we talking about Overwatch? Well, it's because when it comes to Futanari, there is so much Futanari based on Overwatch. I have seen so much Overwatch Futanari. And not just Futanari, there's just so much not safe for work content of Overwatch out there. On the previously mentioned not safe for work image hosting site, there are 101,367 results for Overwatch. That aside, what is the answer to the question?
That's a lot.
Why is there so much Overwatch Futanari? Well, it's because playing Overwatch feels like you're getting f***ed. You're getting f***ed. by every character that they have to give each character a dick so you can probably get by your teammates no matter who they play. Additionally, to answer the question, is it gay to like Overwatch Futanari? My answer, yes. And it's not because of the Futanari. It's because I can't think of anything gayer than liking Overwatch.
Hello students, thank you so much for watching the video. Professor Lando here with a little bit of an announcement. I'm going to be making an appearance at Anime Expo this year, July 4th weekend, Los Angeles, California. I'll be having
I love this guy. This guy's great. Bro, he gets my sub. Bro, he gets my sub. That's great. This is a fantastic video. You say this guy is fun if he never got a gambling addiction. Never played Overwatch ITF2'd. Open his channel. Yeah, why did bro stop making videos? Students, could you help me compile some material for my next lecture? Please post examples from established media, actual video games, and official artwork of highlighting feet or armpits. I need as many as possible, so I'd appreciate any examples you can reply with. He's cooking! He's been cooking for 3 months! Okay, we got Rule 34 now. Looking at Futanari. Pass it out as educational content. Oh my god! What is happening? Super VIP that chatter? Why? What is going on? VIP him? VIP? Yo, welcome. Stop! Hi, Lauren. Oh my god. Someone told me to join. What the fuck is happening? Cam, I think we need to see some educational material to truly understand what food it is. I'm not looking up food porn on stream. You guys are crazy. Do you know what's more concerning? The fact my viewership has been going up since I started talking about Futacock. That's the concerning thing. That's the concerning thing. The more that I talk about Futanari, the more my viewership goes up. Hear me out, W Patreon content. What, looking through Futanari porn on Patreon? Should I just have a submission slip on my Discord where you can submit to me Futanari and I will just make a video of me reacting to Futanari and then put it on Patreon? Like, is that the type of content that I'm gonna start making?